Oh, well, hello there, friends and family. So yeah, today I wanted to record a quick video for you guys and gals, of course, out there on why small businesses fail. So I just did a bit of research. So let's start with this simple one first. 10 reasons small companies fail. I don't know if you guys know the statistics, but like within 5 years, something like 80% of businesses fail. And there's different statistics on, after year one, after 18 months, etc. But let's just keep it simple. And this is going to be more financially focused based upon, the focus of this channel. So, yeah. So here's two that are pretty closely related in regards to finance: insufficient capital and improper planning. So just so you know, we're talking about when businesses start. And I'm sure, most likely the reasons business close most of the time is due to financial reasons. So insufficient capital. This one's really dangerous in a way for, especially if you're an entrepreneur looking to start a business or you already have a business. You might think, hey, I need more capital because this is a reason why so many small businesses fail. Well, the counter argument I would make to that is don't spend as much money and be more innovative, right? So don't spend money. Don't go into a business or try and reduce the capital requirements of that business. But this 2015 report, DNA of an Entrepreneur, reported that 21% of U.S. entrepreneurs have resorted to using their credit cards to fund their business. I did this. Don't ever do this. Horrible, horrible idea. You'll hear about some business owners out there, entrepreneurs, especially in the online world, that are killing it, and this is what they did to start their business or whatever. But no, don't do that. So let's see. We'll get into more stuff, but improper planning, poor management. This could be said for finances as well as anything else. Expanding too quickly, that's interesting. Unprofitable business model, not a whole lot you can do no matter how well you manage your money with this. But let's move on. I'll come back to that one. That's like a paper, but this is a cool infographic I found on Business Insider of why businesses fail. But the cool thing is 99.7% of all businesses in the U.S. are small businesses. That's about 30 million businesses. That's awesome. Most of the workforce is small businesses as well. How many small businesses fail? 20% in the first year, 34% in the second year, 50% in the fifth year. Man, after the 10th year, 70%. That is amazing. Wow. So I have a lot more respect for any business that's over 10 years old. Geez, 70% failure rate. Where do small businesses fail? All in California and Pennsylvania. That's interesting. Very interesting. High tax rates. Just going to say it. High tax rates in all these places. Maybe that's why. 19% are outcompeted. 23% don't have the right team. 29% run out of cash. And 82% experience cash flow problems. So if you'll go back and watch the previous videos on this channel, I talk about how to manage your cash flow from the business owner perspective. So not the CPA, accounting, bookkeeping nerd type thing, which if you're a small business owner, listening to people from that perspective just, makes you want to kill yourself because they tend to explain it in very boring ways, and it's very nitty gritty, the finances that they talk about, CPAs and accountants. And I have a CPA and accountant too, and I love them. But when it comes to the day-to-day management of money for my small business, that way of doing it doesn't really work. So go watch the previous videos that are on this channel, or explore this channel for more videos, and you'll find a lot of resources in regards to that, especially how to manage your cash flow and not run out of cash. I actually just did 2 videos on how you can avoid those 2 things. So there you go. 42% fail because there's no market. 14 because they ignore their customers. Okay. Don't have the right team. That's why 23% fail. So yeah, you can see there's a lot of ups and downs in small businesses. But this was a cool infographic that I thought was particularly revealing, specifically why businesses fail. Okay, let's go to Investopedia. The 4 most common reasons small business fails. The first one is lack of capital. Again, this is dangerous. Just because most businesses fail because of a lack of capital, or at least that's what the statistics say, doesn't mean you should go out and borrow a bunch of money. In fact, I would encourage you to do the exact opposite of that. Let me read this. Nearly half of entrepreneurs state lack of funding or working capital to blame. In most cases, a business owner is intimately aware of how much money is needed to keep operations running on a day-to-day basis, including and funding payroll, paying fixed and varied overhead expenses, and rent and utility, ensuring online on time. However, owners of failing companies are less in tune with how much revenue is generated by sales of products or services. This disconnect leads to funding shortfalls that quickly put a small business out of operation. So in my previous videos, once again, I hate to keep harping on about this, but I show you guys and gals out there how to set up a budget so you know that there's going to be no funding shortfalls, which will cause your business to cease to exist. It's just lack of financial management, and I was guilty of this myself until I got really serious and had a couple of small businesses that failed myself. Let's see, small biz trends. I've already been here. This is what I wanted to talk about right here. States that 40% of small business, only 40% make a profit, 30% come out even, and the remaining 30% lose money. This is why it's also important to communicate with your bookkeeper or CPA about what your profit and loss is. It's just a general P&L statement, which is good to know, and your balance sheet as well. Those are accounting things. But the budgeting that I advocate for can kind of help you plan for the future and set these things up before bad things happen. You know, like there's not much use of meeting with your accountant, CPA, bookkeeper, whatever, and saying you're not making any money, you're breaking even, or even worse, you're losing money. Then what are you supposed to do, right? Like you've been working all this time towards something. You can change course, of course. Change course, of course. But you know, it's going to take some time. Whereas if you plan ahead with budgeting, especially if you're the owner or proprietor of the business, that's great. So here again on the Motley Fool, why businesses fail. The reality still is that many businesses do fail. According to this study, which I'll link in the show notes here to this video, published by Babson College and several other organizations, over half of discontinued businesses halted operations because lack of profits or financial funding. Excuse me, let me get some water. Well, what that tells you is that you need to plan for profit. Like you can't just hope your business is profitable, right? Like that's something that you have to plan for. And I show you guys how to do that too via budgeting. This is a cool paper. The formatting is awful, but there's a lot of good stuff in here. What causes a small business to fail? 11 common reasons of failure. Inadequate cash reserves, that's a huge one. There's a ton of reasons here that would be good for you to look at, but they kind of summarize it down here, which is nice. Lack of experience, insufficient capital or money, again. So this keeps coming up in many different sources. So that kind of tells you how important managing money is and having a decent amount of money to start or stay in business. So that's pretty good. Poor inventory management ties in with cash flow management. Poor credit arrangements, yep. Personal use of business funds, that's never a good thing. That's why you know, budgeting is so important, so you don't have to you know, pay your personal car payment with your business funds. But I think you guys can see, like, here's some more common reasons for people failing financially. It seems poor cash flow management, poor debtor management, borrowing too much money, lack of financial skills, poor inventory management again. So hopefully you can see, unfortunately, most small businesses fail, but there are things that we can do to hopefully help steer the ship in the right direction. So that's kind of why I started this YouTube channel. Let me know what you think of these stats in the comments. Most of these stats, there are a couple of various sources, but most of them are from actual studies. And, these websites kind of just summarize all this stuff. So let me know what you think in the comments. What's been the key to your success if you're staying in business? I have a ton of respect for you if you've been in business, even longer than a year, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, 20, 25. Drop a line in the comments, hit the like button, subscribe, and just let other people know what's helped you, because you might help another business owner that watches this channel and really add some value to the world, which is what I'm trying to do with these YouTube videos. So yeah, go back and watch some videos of mine on budgeting, planning, and basically managing your finances in a way that is understandable to the average business owner. Because going into the weeds with accounting stuff, if you're the CPA type person and you own a business, then you're probably fine. You probably don't need to watch this channel. Maybe you do. Maybe you'll pick up some tips. But for most business owners out there, having that financial bedrock and managing your money, since it's the whole, it's the fuel that your business runs on, is extremely important. So yeah, thanks again. Hit like, subscribe, and thanks for your time. Take care.